And we are live. Welcome to the show, UK Alternative News. But today, we're going to go over, well, just for a few minutes anyway, we're going to go over the UFC at the weekend. My. What a fight card. What a fight card that they had under the weekend. Max Holloway versus Ilya Topuria. My God, what a knockout. I mean, I'm a massive Max Holloway fan. Huge. Love Max. And I was absolutely devastated when he got sparked up by Ilya. Not a massive fan of Ilya. Well, I wasn't a massive fan of Ilya. Now I am a fan of Ilya. You know, this guy is very good. this, this guy punches with so much power, and the torque and the lack of twist movement to punch is unreal. Absolutely insane by Ilya Topuria. But yeah, I mean, he got Max. He got Max out of there. Max was doing really well. Round 1 and 2. Yeah, I mean, doing some damage to Ilya Topuria, as we saw as he was walking out of the ring, or limping out, severely limping out. That's what probably brought on the urgency in round 3 for him to, try and finish Max, which obviously ultimately prevailed. And he fought Max out, but Max, is a champion. He took the defeat, the knockout like a champion, and said, "You want a rematch?" He was doing well for those first 2 rounds, but I was discussing with a mate of mine over text. Listen, he needs more head movement, Max. More head movement, more quicker feet movement, and that's what got him. Ilya had to get him out of there because the wrestling in the first round, when it took Max down, I mean, Max's gas tank is absolutely legendary. He will fight on for 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. There isn't 8, 7, 6 rounds in MMA. 5 rounds and that's it. But Max, will fight on because he's well renowned for, going 5 rounds and still having energy to perhaps even go even further and beyond. But yeah, an absolutely fantastic fight card. And the fight card was in Abu Dhabi, and I wish they would have more fights over there actually, because it suits us over here in England, these fight cards, because they are actually on at a decent time. The fights finish before 10:30, sometimes before 10 o'clock. Yeah, so more cards in Abu Dhabi, more cards in the UAE. Bring them on. The earlier the better for us. Whenever the UFC holds an event in England, now the last couple of events, what have they done? They've said, you ain't having it at your normal time. No. You're having it to cater to our American partners and our American audiences. You've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So nothing changes when it's over here in England, as opposed to the US. They still keep their time. But over here, we've got to bow down and stick to their time. So ultimately, navigating like we have this past weekend with the UFC fight card in Abu Dhabi. And yeah, been on at a decent time. But yeah, Hamzat Chimaev, heard about him? I mean, I had, and a friend of mine had, we both had Robert Whittaker to ride it out for the first 2 rounds, because Hamzat's gas tank doesn't seem to hold up for 3 rounds and beyond. When he gets to the 3rd round, he's like, the taste. Forget about the takedown. You can't do it. However, he absolutely obliterated Robert Whittaker. Very aggressive, high testosterone level guy. He's a good fighter. You can't deny it. You can't deny it. These Dagestanis, Russians, Muslims, they are good fighters. They train like animals over there. And they want it. They got that winning mentality. That's not to say that Whittaker hasn't got it. But the reason why Whittaker capitulated is because his 3 front teeth at the bottom, his bottom 3 front teeth, caved in when Hamzat went for the headlock. Immediately, he felt his front teeth caved in, and he's like, "Get me out of there." You know, live to fight another day, looking pretty, as pretty as you can be for a UFC fighter days. But yeah, unfortunately, Robert Whittaker, the Reaper, has sold. Boom, boom. Yeah, absolutely great fight. Great fights this weekend. Um, you have just looking at some of the cards now. You have Volkanovski who came into the ring. He wants another piece of Ilia Topuria. Now, Ilia Topuria knocked out Volk. I think it was in round two, I believe. Another, I think it was another left hook that got it. I mean, he's like Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira doesn't telegraph his punches, doesn't telegraph his kicks. Alex Pereira just throws it. Now, I've seen similarities between, obviously, there's a massive weight class difference here, but I've seen similarities between Alex Pereira and Ilia Topuria's left hooks. They're sort of like check left hooks, you know, just straight. There's no winding up, swinging back. There's no twisting of the body, swinging back. Sort of like what's that Josh Emmett? He just loads up, and you see it coming from a mile off, and you can just get out of the way, which is what Ilia Topuria did against Josh Emmett. Saw every punch coming because he loads up by swinging. I mean, I'm getting ready. You're going to see this. You know, I'm giving you a 10-second warning. Bang! And it just ducks out the way. But with these guys, there's no loading up. Topuria, Pereira, there's no loading up. They're just from halfway, bang! And it's a knockout. Great physicality, great torque in the punches, great shoulder power and chest power by Topuria and Pereira. Absolutely fascinating stuff. But yeah, still got it for Max. Love Max Holloway. One of my favourite fighters ever. Just, just got it. Never been knocked out. But all good things got to come to a end. He's still healthy. He still sounds well. I know he worries about CTE, as does every fighter should. But I think he'll be fine. I don't think that 145 is suited for him, though. I think the weight cut drains him. I think his body looks better. It looks better at 155, and I think he should get over there at 155. Power up, keep that muscle, and stick to that one for the next couple of years. Because he's a big lad, Max Holloway. Quite tall, you know. Quite tall, quite rangy. Um, yeah, so I would like to see Max Holloway stick to 155. Go at 155, forget the featherweight, go to lightweight, leave 145 behind, go to 155 and make a run there. And I think he can do some good things there, actually. You know, because his wrestling's pretty good, his jiu-jitsu's on par with everybody else. And his boxing, we know about his boxing, is legendary in this. But I think those weight cuts, I think Ilia Topuria being the smaller man benefited from that. Nobody's going to talk about that, but I think that's what it is. I think Max should go to 155 and stay at 155. And you never know, meet Ilia Topuria at 155 and have it at a more comfortable weight instead of killing yourself to get down to 145. That's my take on it. Looking forward to 309. They've got the full card that's announced, and that was announced yesterday. I've missed that. Obviously, John Jones is headlining against Stipe Miocic. Looking forward to that one. Let's have a look at the card. So you've got Charles Oliveira. It looks like that's the co-main event versus Michael Chandler, and obviously that's Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler too. They have fought before a couple of years ago, and Charles Oliveira KO'd Michael Chandler, and obviously, as we know, Michael Chandler's been sitting around waiting for Conor McGregor for the last 2 years. You know, Conor's juiced up to the gills, folks. This guy ain't coming back nowhere. This guy's sitting on his yacht every day. Ah, taking the Colombian stuff, drinking proper 12 and whiskies. He's he ain't coming nowhere. He's having a ball. He's pulling ladies' hairs in a club, drinking downy pints. All it takes is one liver shot if he ever gets in the ring, and he's gone. He's gone, folks. Conor ain't coming back nowhere. That's the fact. You got Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. That's a good fight. That's a tricky one for Bo Nickel because Paul Craig is a world. I don't know. I don't want to say he's world champion, but he's a world class BJJ. That's his discipline actually. Very good on the ground. Totally shocking on the feet. He's got no hands at all on the ground. Guy will wrap you up in a minute. He'll wrap you up in 10 seconds. But Bo Nickel is a championship wrestler, so you'd imagine that it would have a bit too much for Paul Craig. But that'll be interesting because obviously will Bo Nickel take him down? That's the question. Or will he stand up and trade? Stand up and trade. I still fancy him, and Bo Nickel hasn't got the best hands in the business. Obviously, he's still new to the business, but I think that I don't think he'll take him down. I certainly think he'll be apprehensive taking down Paul Craig. But yeah, you got Chris Weidman. He's coming back from that leg injury. He's had a couple of fights. Doesn't look as he hasn't got that championship form. I think he's just fighting for the money, which is fine. They're all fighting for the money. Um, it's not a stacked card. Besides John Jones and Michael Chandler versus Oliveira, it's not really a stacked card. I think they can do better than this, but obviously it's been announced, so this is what it is. But yeah, should be good. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, this is just a quick one. I'll be doing many more live streams on different subjects. I'll be covering the news. I'll be covering the sports like I just have with the UFC in particular. I'll be covering football as well. May do a live. I may come at live later. But as it stands, I've got to go to work. So later, guys. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. See you later.